Pone here, and today we're doing a review on the Battle Scout. Chris is here to help me out.
Yep.
I'm going to split this into two sort of reviews. Chris is going to help me out with the blaster itself, and then I'm going to do a more in-depth review on the camera to see how well that works. Because I'm hoping that in the future Hasbro splits this into selling the Battle Scout separately with the camera. Because having that camera on there just adds so much cost to the blaster, and it's not really a pricey blaster.
Yeah.
It's fairly simple, so I'm really hoping in the future they get split up. So yeah, let's get this thing open and talk about the Battle Scout blaster.
Indeed so. Interesting. One thing that I noticed when I saw pictures of it online, I thought, oh yeah, it's just another sort of like the Modulus version of the Raider. And then as soon as I walked up to this, it's got this strange, definitely proprietary magazine. Kind of reminds me of
Boomco?
Yeah, I think it's Boomco creates one that loads in from the side. The best way I can sort of describe this is sort of like a harmonica type magazine, which is weird because I watched this YouTube channel called ForgottenWeapons.com that talks about an old 1800s gun. Magazine fed firearms were still a very sort of like untouched subject. They had a harmonica gun. So let's see here. Yeah. I'm not. This is not pleasing me. Oh hey!
That's not a very good feature.
1 out of 10 shots misfired.
So it is roughly the same size as the normal Modulus blaster, and it comes with all the typicals. Got the front barrel attachment point, one top rail, and then a rear attachment point. So you can add on all your sweet attachments to the Modulus blaster.
That right there, that's the magazine on the bottom side. And on the front side, got cool little arrows to tell you where the magazine goes.
So it looks like you feed it in just till it's flush with the other side. So yeah, let's see. Does not have slam fire, so it just advances the magazine if you try to slam fire it.
Got kind of a really short pump range, which, I mean, very ergonomic grip. My only beef with it is that it's got a very short pumping range. Externally, it's a pretty sizable thing, but internally, it seems like it doesn't have too much going on.
Well, if you want to run across the chrono and then take some shots in the range.
Absolutely, let's do it. All right. Ooh. This isn't looking good.
There's some new darts. That's ridiculous.
Send it! Impressive! Nice try!
Almost made it here. Is it always that? I feel like it's the middle one that just doesn't.
Hey!
Oh my gosh. There you go. There you
One
go.
more.
Now send it out. Yeah, so the average FPS was around 50, which is pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
I would expect between 60 and 65 for a decent blaster, and the range showed that it didn't really get solid FPS. So after actually firing it, is this worth $30?
No, I'd say $20. I'd say $20.
Worth $20.
Yeah.
I would agree. It was just really too bad. Like, if you just want this blaster because it's very unique for Nerf, obviously this Boomco's already been doing this variety of magazine. It does have the interesting 45-degree angled foregrip, and it is fairly comfortable. So, pretty unique, but horrible performance, and extremely expensive right now with the camera.
Yeah.
So I can't recommend getting this blaster at all in its current state.
No, I really can't either.
Alright guys, well until next time, it's not about having fun.
It's about what chord your harmonica magazine is tuned to.
And how hard you wreck your friends. Alright, so Chris and I discovered that this blaster itself is not really that amazing. It does have a decent look, just like the Modulus line blasters do, and it's got some unique features. The cost of this blaster goes way through the roof because of the Nerf Modulus camera that's attached to this thing. So let's go over the camera in more detail. So here is the camera. You can see back here, this is where 4 AA batteries go, and right off the bat, you will need to own an SD card. It does not come with an SD card, but requires one that you plug in right there. It has a normal N-Strike rail attachment, except that it has this little knob here. When the knob is all the way loosened, it opens just like a regular N-Strike attachment. And when it's all the way closed, then it locks it into place. Which is definitely a good feature, as you don't want to be running around and then drop your fairly expensive camera on the ground. You can see it slides on normally, and then you can tighten it down like that. It also reduces a little bit of the jiggle. Now the camera itself is operated with a button here. You can click it into picture mode, and that green light indicates that it's on, or you can, and that's off. The green light will blink for a while and then stop. Or you can click it into video mode, and it can be start and stopped with this button here. Now I actually had some issues getting my 64GB SD card that I have in my normal camera working with this thing. Even after formatting into the proper format that they suggest it be formatted to in the instructions, it still wouldn't work. Because I ran into this, I remember that I did have another SD card in another camera, and it was an 8GB SD card. It was a little bit older, so I'm not sure if that's part of the problem. It did work as soon as I put it into this thing. Flick it on, should be a green light blinking, then that goes solid, and then this button right here glows red when it's recording, and it will go off in a second after you click it again. If there's no SD card in it, then it blinks yellow like that. And even when I had my 64GB SD card in there, it did this no matter what. Now, you'll see from the clip here, the sound is garbage. There's no way that you're going to be using this to record sound with in a battle, because the priming of the blaster was super loud and clunky. Even so, typically in a video that's HVZ or war footage, you're probably not going to want the audio anyway. You're probably going to want to overlay music or maybe some voiceovers of that, so that's not really a big deal. Being able to shoot in 720p on an actual Nerf attachment is actually kind of cool. What is up guys, Pwn here, coming to you from the Battle Scout. Now I just took this outside and looked around a little bit, looked at the footage. It does have a small mic. Footage was not actually that terrible. It is 720p, which honestly in my opinion is unacceptable if you're uploading to YouTube at this point. It's really hard for me to watch a video that is not in 1080p at least. But honestly, for this price, this camera isn't that bad. The quality is there for considering what it is. Let's compare what you're seeing now with the 1080p version. Now, if you're going to shoot video like this thing does, but you want it to be better, you're probably going to need to get a GoPro. And those are going to cost you anywhere, like the cheapest I think are probably $150 to $200. And they will shoot in 1080p, but that is quite pricey compared to this product. When I first got this, I thought it was going to be a good blaster with a piece of crap attachment, but it turns out it's kind of a bad blaster with a fairly decent camera attachment. Now right now it is $59.99 on Amazon. If you do not have a camera, I might consider actually getting this. If you want to shoot in 720p and capture some war footage, $59.99 for a blaster plus a pretty decent camera is not that horrible. If you've already got a camera, especially a GoPro, definitely don't recommend getting this. But for anyone that doesn't actually have a camera, this might be a good start for you, just to capture some war footage. The real test is how long the battery life is going to be. So on Sunday, I'm going to have a house assault. I'm going to have a few kids from Western come, and we're going to do sort of a capture and defend game. And I'm actually going to shoot with this, so I will upload just the footage from that, and I'll see how long the batteries last. Links, as always, in the description box below. Wait until Sunday if you want to see that footage before you make your decision. You know, watch some more YouTubers, see what they have to say about this. Came in with low expectations. Considering what this is, it's actually a pretty decent camera. Alright guys, until next time, remember, it's not about having fun. It's about being surprised about the 720p HD camera that Hasbro has developed.